you're listening to the all-new Rain Man 001 on Rain Man Digital.
Permission granted. Land on platform 3.
Hello, this is Stormtrooper 1. In case you were just way too busy to listen to our last show, this is what you missed.
Apparently, in Star Wars number 5, Han Solo it's been announced that he's actually married during the events between Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back. Star Wars New Hope.
Yes.
And Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, shit.
Damn, he's that double dipping son of a bitch.
She's a fine African lady.
Oh, she's a fine Nubian.
She's a fine Nubian.
She's a fine Nubian goddess from Corellia. Oh, yeah.
She is pretty fine. I mean, in cartoon form.
She's pretty fine from a cartoon standpoint. Well, come on. I think we've all looked at some weird cartoon shit at one point. I mean, ever since the days of Jessica Rabbit, it changed the way you look at cartoons.
It changed it.
As a kid, it destroyed my mind and my soul.
Why don't women look like that?
In my opinion, just because she's a princess, you're not going to trash your title. Especially if she's the last, really true royalty, last true aristocrat from her society that got blown up. You're not going to throw away that name.
And that's why it'd be Han Organa.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I say I don't see them together. Han Organa.
What if it is?
Oh my god.
I'm Captain Organa of the Millennium Falcon.
That's why he's like, I'm finally whole.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait to get away from that bitch.
I'm finally away from her controlling this.
Chewie, we're home.
That was no cave.
Warning from the Bacta tank contains adult language and discussions. If you're easily offended, do not continue.
We would be honored if you would join us.
How are you feeling? Your latest workups on your condition indicate that all damage has been reversed. Recovery is total. I believe you have been quite fortunate. No further thanks are necessary, Commander, but you are most welcome. It is my function and pleasure as a medical droid to help and heal human beings.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
Hello and welcome everybody to Star Wars from the Bacta Tank. We are live today on Thursday, June 10th, I believe. June 10th. 11th. I'm one day behind, but I will catch up. Star Wars from the Bacta Tank. If you're following us on Twitter, good. If not, you can follow us on Twitter at From Bacta Tank. Also, let us know if you're having any issues listening to the show live. Just tweet us, and we will get back to you after the show because there's nobody actually monitoring the Twitter account right now. But we are live and we're happy to be here. This is this is official. I think we broke a record officially. I think we've done more shows in the last 5 weeks than we've done in 2.5 years.
Oh my god, yeah, you're right. Because gone straight without a break.
Yeah. So I am in the studio with Greg.
Hey, I'm back.
David.
Hello.
And of course Dustin Lucas via Holonet.
Hello there.
Yes. So a lot of things to get through as usual with Star Wars. I think it's important to mention the biggest thing that happened today. And I don't want to, weigh the show down in great sadness and sorrow. But let's celebrate the life of Christopher Lee for a moment here. Rest in peace, of course. He did pass away, I believe, this morning, or was it late last night?
I remember it was Sunday.
It was Sunday. It really? And it just now was announced?
Yeah, they didn't make the announcement.
They kept his body on ice, or what did they do?
Oh, wow, man.
They're planning on cloning him.
He was in the hospital for respiratory
Well,
issues.
You know what? You shouldn't make jokes after one day. It's been 4 days, so I say let's joke. But on a side note here, it's not too soon. It's been 4 days. They waited to let us know. Listen, if people can make jokes about poor Paul Walker dying within an hour of him dying, that was was wrong.
I remember that.
Yeah, I made a lot of jokes.
I'm
going to hell.
Christopher Lee though lived a long life. I think a life that many of us hope or wish that we could have someday as well. A very long life. And man, that guy was 93 years old.
Yeah,
he was spry as hell.
Yeah, he was everywhere.
You read there's a thing I think I posted which talked about the roles he played.
Yeah.
He was a Nazi hunter in World War II.
Mm-hmm.
He was a member of in
the mic
Society of Ungentlemanly Warfare, like some like
yeah.
I don't know if it was like a spy circle, like a
Yeah,
spy
it was a
group or
spy
whatever,
circle.
but,
You
like,
want to go ahead and just read his IMDb for us?
No.
No, dude, on top of that, he was a metalhead. Remember, even at
Was
age
he?
90,
Yeah.
he had his own metal band.
Yeah.
about Charlemagne.
He looked great. He looked
Yeah.
great for
Yeah.
his age. I mean, he looked better than most 60-year-olds, you know? So he was great. Was he even confined to a wheelchair or anything? He wasn't, was
No. He was still, just like what you
He's
said,
still
he was
walking
still
around,
walking
yeah.
around and everything.
That's sad. I mean, did he have medical issues, medical ailments, or anything like that?
I
or did
think
he
he
die
did,
of
but
old
I-
age?
Well, yeah,
No,
it's
he-
called
he
being
died- he was-
93.
Yeah. Dude, 93. But he had respiratory problems.
Yeah, he was in
Did
a
he?
hospital when he passed. Like he was in there getting that stuff treated. I think so,
Yeah.
and there's something else as well. But
That's sad.
When you're 90,
I mean,
that'll take you out.
And he had, there was some years where he kind of died out between the, like, I want to say like the 90s. But then when he came back and had that resurgence with Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, and then of course Tim Burton used him a lot. I mean, this guy had he had 3 careers. He had his early career, his second career, and his third career. In the movie business, he never really he would die out for a few years and then come back because of some role. Of course, I think most people know him besides Darth Sidious or Count or not Darth Sidious, Darth Tyrannus,
Yes,
or Count Dooku. I think most people would know him as Dracula
from the Hammer films.
Yeah, so
that's how I remember
That's
him.
the reasons why George Lucas brought him on, because George Lucas in interviews said he was a big fan of those movies. So that was I remember how giddy George Lucas was in interviews, saying that we were all excited Dracula was on set. And you could kind of see he had the Count Dooku, Count Dracula. He obviously, George was taking some liberties with the actor, playing around with the fun that he was fanboying over.
He was
over
fanboying.
him.
Well, he was a like, I don't know if it was a championship fencer, but he did.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, he.
that
did
guy. I'm so
everything,
envious
dude.
of that guy.
I mean, and look, even in
He was also
Lord of the Rings,
he was also an astronaut.
when you look at Lord of the Rings,
And he
look
had
at all the
and he had a
stuff that he
10-inch
did.
penis. That would just make you hate that guy even more. He was like 6'4". He had a 10-inch penis. He was an astronaut, a fencer, an actor. He was in Lord of the
Secret
Rings.
agent.
And he really was a vampire.
Yeah.
He really was
I mean, that is some career, man. He has a career that most actors, dream of having.
Yeah.
And he's fantastic at it as well. So, all right. Well, on other news, it kind of gets you sad a bit, because as we age, obviously Star Wars is aging. Obviously, the people involved in Star Wars is also aging. John Williams has been announced that he will not be conducting all the Star Wars scores. Now, some people went ape shit and started like beating their chest in protest.
Trolls.
But you got to realize that conducting isn't scoring. He's scoring the movie, meaning he's writing the music.
Yeah,
He's just not gonna be
he's still
conducting it.
composing. He's just not going to
Right.
be conducting it.
He's not
gonna be
conducting. That's where he
physically
gets there
conducting.
with the little stick, and he's all dun 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 dun. He's not doing that.
It
He's
could
not
be way
actually-
worse. This could have been way worse news.
Yeah. So the fact, it's almost. I guess it would be. I guess to musicians, it might be similar to if, let's say, your director, okay, like Tarantino. Maybe it'd be like Tarantino not directing True Romance, but he wrote True Romance. Maybe musicians will look at it like that a little bit. Well,
Maybe.
he wrote the music, but he's not actually behind. Because I don't want to put down their work as conductors, but I don't know a lot
Actually,
about that.
conducting is actually a very strenuous job.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
okay,
hard.
strenuous.
It's
but
very strenuous.
Will you not being there as a conductor, like for example, John Williams not being involved in conducting, will it be noticeable when the score is being recorded?
Not really, because as long as they're following his composition.
So you're
and
saying
everything.
they're not important. Conductors aren't important.
Conductors, well, it's like a twofold, dude, because
Yeah.
a lot of conductors compose and conduct.
Right.
But John Williams
Yeah.
is just basically composing at this point.
Yeah.
Well, I think at this, I think with any type of medium in music with conductors, that you could have the best orchestra in front of you, but I think it's like sometimes the energy they give off while conducting,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I
and
remember.
and just their presence. I think that feeds into the
You know what?
musicians. So
You're
like,
right. You're right, Greg. Because when I was in high school, I was in a jazz band. I remember I went from one of the most popular schools that won all kinds of awards, and I remember our conductor had long gray curly hair. He was a pimp, dude. He would come out just skipping. He was the show, not us, the students.
Yeah.
The conductor would come out. He's skipping about. He's all going crazy doing conducting. And then I graduate middle school and I go to college, to a bullshit ghetto college that had no type of arts. And I go and see the conductor is about 300 pounds and he's not even moving his body. He's sitting down on a pedestal and he's like waving his hands.
Yeah.
So you know what? The energy, that totally makes sense.
So I think even if like he's not conducting, as long as the person that they get to conduct, feeds off of that energy, excitement that, hey, I'm conducting musicians for Star Wars.
And,
And it's more of a boon to the musician too. They're like, hey, I got to play under John Williams.
Right.
If John Williams was conducting, he wrote it all, so he knows every aspect of that score.
And you mean John Williams isn't using Pro Tools? He's not using Pro Tools
or Auto-Tune?
He's not using Auto-Tunes or Pro Tools.
But yeah, dude, if you go,
man, Duel of Fates was all Auto-Tune, bro.
I thought that was all like pre-recorded like plugins that he just used.
Yeah,
like,
man.
I thought the true art was laying it down just in the right manner.
Yeah, man. He used Fruity Loops. He used Fruity Loops for the whole thing.
I heard he used the free Acid plugin for Sony.
So
yeah, man. He was using Reason.
Think of some of the worst ones. What's that free one everybody uses? What's the one you started on, Dustin, years ago?
What? Like music production?
Yeah. Remember a lot of people use for actually editing the music together. What was that one you used years ago? Everyone used it when they first started.
Audacity.
Yeah.
He laid down tracks on Audacity.
What? I use it to record voiceovers.
Well, that's probably about as good as for at this point.
Yeah, that's all it's good for. And ripping music from YouTube. I didn't mean that. I don't rip music from YouTube.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on. Star Wars, I think the biggest thing we're going to be talking about today a little bit, and pull up the link, guys, because I want you guys to help me out as we explore through this. But Star Wars Uprising will be our main topic for this segment. And, of course, if you don't know, I had it on the show notes to talk. If you remember, it was on the show notes last week.
Yeah.
And I totally skipped it. I have no idea why. And I was so upset because that information literally came out last Thursday.
Yeah. And basically, like, right after the show, all of a sudden, trailers came out.
I know. I was so upset.
And videos came out.
We could have had an edge. And I slipped up. So Star Wars Uprising, and I like how you're so modest, David. Like, you saw it on the show notes, but then after the show, you posted, hey, we could talk about this next week. It's like, hey, fucker, you missed a main topic.
You have failed.
Hey, dumb shit.
Yeah, listen, if I do that, you have a right to interrupt me. I'm like, hey, Mike, we missed this one that's really important. It literally came out 30 minutes before the show. So, all right. So
hold up your hand and be like, ooh, 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 ooh.
Yeah, please do. I need help. Star Wars Uprising mobile game to open new chapter in Star Wars universe. Now, yes, it's awesome and great. It's a Star Wars mobile game. And that's awesome. But I think the best part about this is the fact that the Lucasfilm Story Group we've heard about, the infamous Lucasfilm Story Group that we've been hearing about for the last year and a half, they're going the route of officially transmedia storytelling. When many people before have tried, over the last 4 or 5 years, many people have tried to delve into transmedia storytelling and have failed miserably. It doesn't work.
It's hard, dude.
And it is very hard. And those of you who don't know what transmedia storytelling is, it's very simple. It's basically a continuous storyline told through different media forms, whether it be web series, film, television, which those are the most common. Okay, we see Marvel doing that. Of course, we see DC trying to do it. And then, but now you tie in comic books, you tie in mobile games, you tie in mobile apps, you tie in books, mobile books. I mean, you basically tell a continuous long-form story on several outlets, and that way you're getting all these different people kind of swarming in to pay attention to this story.
Yeah. And
I kind of like their plan for this, because what they're doing is they're actually, with this game, it's going to be telling the story of what happened, kind of filling the gaps between Return of the Jedi and the upcoming Episode 7, The Force Awakens.
Yep.
And that is fantastic. I mean, the trailer alone but just was beautiful. The visual effects for the game the graphics wasn't great because it's a mobile game. It's still good. It's definitely more above average, but that's not the selling point. The selling point is that you're seeing what happened when the Emperor has died.
Yep.
And how you see this one person trying to hold on to power, saying, and basically kind of doing what what the Nazis did, what a lot of dictators do, what their army do when their dictator has passed and the public doesn't know yet. They try to pass it off as they're still alive, that the death of the emperor is just lies. Don't listen to the lies.
And dude, also, like, people think that, oh, that's a ridiculous story. No, look at today's world. Look at North Korea.
Yeah.
They do that in North Korea. It's called propaganda.
Yep. That's true.
Propaganda?
Propaganda.
Propaganda.
So fans of the Force will soon be able. Wow, good typos here. Variety magazine. Fans of the Force will soon be able to get their hands on Star Wars Uprising, a mobile role-playing game that promises to introduce a new chapter in the Star Wars universe. The game is being developed by game studio Kabam. Is that how you say that? Or Kabam?
Kabam.
Okay. In collaboration with Disney and Lucasfilm. Now, have you guys heard of Kabam? Or Kabam?
Not really. From what I understand,
and you guys are gamers, and you've never heard of it.
I'm looking them up right now because I generally, if I have a mobile game, I don't look at who makes it.
Okay.
I just play the fucking
Usually, from what I understand, when I saw the videos, Kabam is like their main thing is mobile games.
Okay, all right.
They're not like into the mainstream video game consoles.
Okay. Star Wars Uprising takes place after Star Wars Return of the Jedi, after the fall of Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine, and before Star Wars Force Awakens, the 7th installment of the movie franchise set to hit theaters in this December. The company said Star Wars Uprising will begin a beta rollout in select territories in the coming weeks, but didn't set a launch date. Do we know where these are we going to be? Can we actually go online and volunteer to be a beta tester?
I don't know. I'll look into it. But they actually, if any of you guys have ever played Marvel Contest of Champions,
that mobile.
That's
a mobile.
That's by Kabam.
Is that a cool game?
Yeah, it's actually pretty rad.
Oh, okay.
Like you basically you play as you can get Marvel superheroes by unlocking them through crystals, but you go through like storylines. And you're kind of trying to save the universe from, I think it's Kang the Conqueror.
Okay. Yeah. Star Wars Uprising will let players create their own unique characters, awesome, go on missions, and acquire gear and skills while amassing crews to join in large-scale sector-wide battles that will dictate the future of the game universe. Now, I'm assuming this is all online play. I'm assuming. If it's a mobile app,
absolutely.
Okay, all right. The game covers events in the Anote sector. Is that how you would say that, Star Wars, fellow Star Wars geeks?
I think that's how they pronounce it.
Okay. Including the ice planet Hoth and Cloud City. Following the Battle of Endor and the death of Emperor, players will be able to create their own takes on the next generation of Star Wars heroes, smugglers, bounty hunters, rebel guerrillas, diplomat gamblers, or something altogether different. At the Star Wars Uprising official website, fans who pre-register can help shape the in-game universe. So there's our answer. And win exclusive prizes such as Stormtrooper helmet by voting in for in-game content. I'm excited. Yeah. I'm actually very excited about this. I'm not a big gaming nut, but I mean, it's dangerous though because I'm a fan of Star Wars: The Old Republic, and I'm still playing it, and I still start new characters, but I'm tied down to my gaming computer in the back here in my editing bay. That's what I'm tied down to, and I don't want to. It's dangerous because they're making a mobile game that I can now take in bed and play on my iPad. I'm assuming it's going to be available for iPads, iPhones. If it's mobile gaming, I'm assuming it's going to be on all of that.
Oh, yeah.
That is dangerous.
Dangerous, but
you're going to
awesome,
see this
dude.
network go on a downward spiral when that game launches. So what elements are you guys looking forward to in this game the most, you think?
I'm really psyched after reading up on Uprising for the past week. The thing I really do like is they're not including anything Jedi related.
No, what do you mean Jedi related?
Like there's no Force users.
Oh, really?
There's actually, it's basically the focus is actually the everyday people out there.
Okay.
So they like what you mentioned in the article: smugglers, bounty hunters, rebel guerrillas, diplomats, and gamblers.
Okay.
They're everyday people.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. They did leave out Jedis, didn't they?
Yeah, and it's not like. It's more. This game is more or less kind of like a army builder type of simulator.
Well, I bet you as you start playing and the game gets a little older and they get 3 months, 6 months into it, they're probably going to allow unlocks of Jedi, maybe 4. Well, it's kind of like. Do you remember the old Star Wars Galaxies game?
Yeah.
Okay, that was so good because I remember you could not play a Jedi ever.
Because it was hard.
You would play smugglers, bounty hunters, pilots, people like that, and then what would happen is you would actually have to get to a certain level, and then your character would have to go on a mission to unlock a Jedi character or unlock you to becoming a Jedi. You'd have to find a crystal. You'd have to go fight a giant beast. It would literally take some people 6 months to a year to actually earn that Jedi ability. To me, a lot of people when they first played the game was fantastic. It was awesome that you had to work for something. It made it more real.
Yeah.
Whereas you started getting these new people who started coming in after year 1, year 2, and they're just like, this sucks. I want to be a Jedi now. And then, of course, Galaxies changed the game, and you could start as a Jedi, and it kind of changed the entire feel of the game. And then from then on out, the game just continually went on a downward spiral. Yeah,
it just absolutely ruined it.
I think that's with people in games, like it's not like when all of us were growing up, we were playing games like we had to play through
in the mic.
We had to play through the game to unlock anything. Am I still into the mic, or am I good?
No, you're good now.
Oh, okay. We had to play through the game, like we had to play it. You can just be like, oh, I want this now. I'm gonna wait for the special edition because then that's gonna give me everything, or whatever. But it's like when I started playing, the Old Republic. I like the fact that I just don't start off as like a Sith Lord, or like I have to go through the academy and all that other shit. And it's really cool because that gives you like a nice little backstory.
Yeah, it's fun. I like it. There's some things that I like better on Star Wars Old Republic, and there's some things with Galaxies I like better. Moving on, Adam Driver's stunt double talks The Force Awakens, J.J. Abrams, and the Crossguard lightsaber. Now, I was hesitant because I didn't want this article to get too trolly because I know people really don't like the Crossguard. I think now they're kind of over it, but I think everybody at this point now they're kind of waiting to
see what it is,
what it actually is. And I guess supposedly in this interview, Adam Driver actually states that there is a specific reason that he cannot talk about. It has nothing to do with how you moved, because everyone's all, well, according to, if you're a swordsman in swordsmanship and fencing, you could use a crossguard for this. Like, no, instead of, everyone tried to, they became expert swordsmen about why a crossguard wouldn't work or why it would work.
Yes.
Well, according to this article, Adam Driver says there's the stunt double. Yeah, Adam Driver stunt double actually says that there's a lot more pertaining to the crossguard as to why we have it, and it has nothing really to do with because of swordplay you would need it. So, and he says, I can't even talk about why there's a crossguard.
Yeah.
He says, but he was thrown off because when he was brought on, he said that I was brought on, thinking, hey, I'm going to be in this sci-fi epic, and here they give me this sword that looks like a medieval practice sword. That's what they gave him when they first started doing the stunt practicing, and he was thrown off because he said, as far as I know, Star Wars doesn't have medieval swords. So I just love that word. The part I focused on was medieval, because that's what we've been saying from the very beginning when everybody was bitching about this sword that they didn't like. It was stupid. I was like, it's medieval. I think Dustin Lucas might have been the first person to actually say that. Like, it's medieval, and it kind of...
Well, I said it's a relic. It's probably a relic.
Yeah. Which now, if you want to believe the rumors we've heard, that Adam Driver's character is scouring the galaxy for ancient Force relics, then that would make sense that he's, donning a bunch of relic-type robes, mask. I mean, there's rumors, again, that his mask could be the Raven.
Yeah, Revan.
It could be Revan. So, I mean, who knows, man, with this character. But the interview goes on to say that he can't, I guess he's going to be charged. If Adam Driver's stunt double releases any information pertaining to anything, he will be fined $36,000 US dollars is the penalty for breaking the non-disclosure.
They're cracking down. They're cracking down on it now because remember, JJ is getting tired of all the leaks, so he has to crack
everybody
down.
Is, but I think reading the article in this that he's saying when he walked around he had to have an escort and a magnetic card. That there are security guards that check his identity.
I love it, dude.
That was because there are other films on the lot that were filming as well, and they didn't want those people kind of sneaking a peek, or somebody from another set kind of walking on, like, oh, I'm an extra hand, I'm an extra gaffer.
Is that what he had to say?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, people from the other films trying to get a sneak peek at Star Wars.
Oh, that's funny.
And it's like, that's really shitty. That
we talked about that, but people kind of say, is that a little too far? And I'm like, no, not when the amount of, people are, I guarantee you, news magazines and these tabloids are hiring PIs, hardcore PI, private investigators to go and get information off that set. But you got to protect you're protecting your investment. How much fun is it going to be for anybody when people start stealing scripts and story ideas. It'll ruin the entire
it's just like,
does.
with, like, why people, with like TMZ or like we break it first. And like, when like the few moments I've seen of that fucking show, they're just like all standing around like, oh, well, I got this and I got this info and I got this info. You guys are really fucking scum. Like, if one of you ate a bullet tonight, I wouldn't cry.
Well, I hate to say it, man, but on set, it's probably the sound guys that are giving off all the extra info, snapping little pictures with their phones and shit, because we're
I
always
wouldn't be surprised.
always in the background, sneaking around like vampires. Like, nobody ever notices the sound guys.
It's, nothing against sound guys, but you know what? It usually is the sound guys that released, footage of people. Yeah. Sound footage. So,
but once you guys say, I'm thinking about it now, and yeah, all you guys are right. I mean, the leaks do suck. The rumors are getting out of hand. But without them, we couldn't speculate. I mean, it's just fun speculating what's going to happen.
Speculation is one thing based on, planned releases of information. But I mean, Lucasfilm would be releasing little tidbits here and there, interviews, things like that.
You can make make assumptions off that or speculations off of that.
Yeah.
But it's not fun when like people are like, oh, here's some video on set of a lightsaber fight between Kylo Ren and oh my God, is that Obi-Wan Kenobi?
I think that's what I wanted to actually get clear is like basically there's a difference between speculating and leaking.
Yeah, and there is, I mean, for all we know, some of the information that Lucasfilm released later was released only because rumors were released. And what if they were going to give us something else? Maybe they're going to give us a different trailer. Who knows? Maybe we're not getting what they would like to give us because of rumors and leak stuff. I mean, like I said, I'm calling it, and I said it about last month. I guarantee you the film Star Wars Force Awakens will be on the internet 3 months before the movie's even out.
Yeah.
So, dude, someone is going to find a way to, it's very easy to capture frames nowadays while people are editing. You can remotely tap into someone's computer while they're editing, clear across the country, and you can record their screen. That's the next move in piracy. Right now, they're stealing full copies, but the next move will be actually going into the person's editing bay and capturing. I mean, I've had meetings with people with this software where they can share your screen and actually move your controller and actually work your editing software for you.
Yeah.
Remotely, and say, well, how about we make changes like this? So if that technology is there, it's only a matter of time before pirates. Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if these computers are completely off the grid. Meaning,
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah. Like even if they're off the grid as far as like internet, like they're probably in an internal network.
Yeah,
like that's so heavily safeguarded that
not even North Korea can tap into.
Yeah. Well. So the thing, but here's the thing: is that you can say you hope, like you say you hope, but a lot of companies are getting smarter. They're hiring hackers to design their security software. Yeah. Like, what would you think of? And like, they constantly are evolving it. So like, what Mike's saying, the movie's going to probably be on the the internet in 3 months before it comes out.
Yeah.
But also too, even if it's not, if it gets released overseas first before America gets it, somebody's gonna record it and it's gonna be up there a couple of weeks before, depending on the release date.
Now tell me this, Greg. If it comes out, because you're kind of a pirater here out of this group, it's okay. We can say now if the movie comes out and it's leaked and it's a full version, good quality, would you watch it early?
No.
Oh, come on.
I'm telling you.
No, hold on. Before all of you start jumping down my throat, I'm gonna just dick slap all of you, and you can shut the fuck up.
I believe you. It's not me.
I don't like. Okay, I'll be 100% honest. If I find a copy, will I download it? Yes. Will I watch it? No.
Oh,
I want to see.
Oh, really?
You don't put a condom on unless you're ready to screw.
Hey, why don't you both stop blowing each other and shut the fuck up and let me explain?
Oh, okay. Tough guy. Tough guy.
Greg gets so angry.
Fucker.
Simmer down.
I'm in my car. I'm on the way.
Yeah, simmer down, Greg. Go ahead and justify now.
So, will I download it? Yeah. But here's the thing, though. I'll go see it first because I want to see it in the theater. I wanted to experience it in the theater, because if I watch it on my TV at home, I've got like the fucking shitty speakers that are in the TV. I've got whatever, however the audio is ripped, however that sounds. Like, it's not the full experience of seeing it in the theater. Like, it's just kind of like, I downloaded this film and I watched it. How was it? It was all right. I mean, I couldn't hear some shit, blah, whatever.
I understand that.
Yeah,
but
you're
like,
just download it to have it.
Yeah. Because then after I go see it in the theaters about 50 times, I'm going to watch it at home as well, so I could just, jerk it while I go to sleep. So...
All right, you know what? We need to go to a quick break. We'll be right back in just a matter of moments. Don't go nowhere. Star Wars From the Bacta Tank on Rain Man Digital. We'll be right back.
Don't go nowhere. More Bacta Tank is coming right up.
Hello, everyone. The Rain Man Digital app is now available in the Google Play Store. You can now take the entire Rain Man Digital network on the go anywhere you go on your Android-based device. That means you can listen to Star Wars From the Bacta Tank, Weird West Radio, Supernatural The Crossroads, The Rain Man Show, and Critique Revolve, all from this app. Yes, R2, I'm getting to that. And it's no charge. Head over to the Google Play Store, type in Rain Man Digital, download the app today, and start listening. Also, whenever we do live shows, you will also be able to tune into the live channel on your Rain Man Digital app, Rain Man Channel 001. Thank you and enjoy the show.
Hello, this is Stormtrooper 1, and if you've missed any portion of the show, you can always head over to FromTheBactaTank.com and listen to the show at your leisure. We're also on Stitcher, Smart Radio, Stitcher.com, search Bacta, and add us to your favorites. Thank you, and listen responsibly. And may the Force be with you. And long live. And now we take you to the set of Star Wars standalone movie, John Connor vs. Jar Jar, directed by McGee.
I'm trying to fucking do a scene here and I'm going...
Excuse me, sir,
Yeah?
You're needed on set? Yes, Jar Jar is causing a scene. You keep talking while the camera's rolling and Christian's getting really angry. Really angry. I think you should come out.
Yeah, okay. I'll be right there.
You don't fucking understand what it's like working with actors. That's what that is.
Not really, no.
That's what that is, man.
No.
I'm telling you. I'm not asking, I'm telling you. You wouldn't have done that otherwise.
Well, that smells stinker whiff.
Stay off the fucking set, man. For fuck's sake. Right, let's go again.
Misa back.
I'm gonna fucking kick your fucking ass. You don't shut up for a second, alright? What the fuck are you doing?
Alright, can we just calm down here, everybody? Let's get back to work.
You got fucking something to say to this prick?
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't actually see what happened.
Well, somebody should be fucking watching and keeping an eye on him.
You're listening to From the Bacta Tank on Rain Man Digital.
All right, we're back. Star Wars From the Bacta Tank on Rain Man Digital. Again, we're going to be live every Thursday now at 1:15 p.m., around 1:15. That's the beautiful thing about running your own network. You can just 1:15, 1:17, 1:20.
We can name the times whenever we want.
Yeah, but around that time. Yeah, of course, you'll see posts. If you follow us on Twitter at FromBactaTank, you will always know when we go live because I'll be announcing it.
And don't forget about our app. The Rain Man Digital
look
app.
At you, Google Play app. Search Rain Man Digital. Now, while we were at break, Lance, one of the listeners here, posted on our group page, in the Invasion Force page, that he says, regarding today's From the Bacta Tank episode, actually speaking as a past member of a concert band, the methodology of a particular conductor is usually very important. He says, just like a director will change film dialogue on the fly during a film shoot, an orchestra conductor will direct the musicians in a different way or via their baton. direct the orchestra or elements within it to highlight and emphasize different aspects of the melody in different way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of what I figured. Again, I didn't want to speak like I know because I don't want to be a know-it-all. I'm not a musician anymore. I definitely don't know anything about conducting. So, I mean, it would make sense though.
It definitely does make sense. I mean, and
he's got to have a protege though, right? I mean, John Williams has got.
I don't think you have to. I mean, he's probably one of those conductors that, if you get invited to work under in any way, either like as an apprenticeship or
yeah. I mean, and he's from the old days of when in the film world you actually had apprentices. So it would make sense for him to have an understudy.
He's got to have at
someone.
least one apprentice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the rule
he's got
two,
a young.
so.
Yeah, I always imagine John Williams as having like an entourage, like a posse he travels around with.
We get like a TMZ report that John Williams' apprentice actually slayed him, and so because he wanted to be the one in charge now, like the Sith.
But then, like, somebody filmed their fight, and it's just, and also, like, there's the orchestra in the background playing the Duel of Fates as they're fighting.
Awesome. Oh my god, that's the best way to go ever.
They just both walk out on stage, and his apprentice is just like, "It's my time now, master."
Oh man!
And then you just have like the choir behind him. It's like.
That's so funny. I mean, listen, dude. That would be the funnest thing ever. If you wore like an orchestra, you just play dramatic music every time something bad happened. Just start playing Duel of Fates. That'd be perfect.
Yeah, well, dude, but still, I mean, that's because that's like the ultimate, shit's about to go down song.
Yeah.
Because like even to this day, when they like,
I play that when I'm having sex. Gets me in the mood.
When it's really quiet, that's the foreplay.
You're right. Is when I'm like.
Like when it's really quiet, it's like that's when you're going down on it because it's muffled. It's
right.
muffled.
Or it's a slow hit motion. It's like
slow hit motion.
And then when you're driving home, it's all
actually that's when you switch to like taking her from behind. You start pulling her hair and like you slap. Oh wait, never mind. It's getting a little bit too.
Oh my
God, we are officially the biggest fucking geeks in the universe.
Well, and also
and the biggest fucking perverts as well.
Right. Yep. I think we're the sleaziest, crude bunch of Star Wars show ever because I've listened to other Star Wars shows recently.
Yeah.
They're clean.
There's some that are very good. 3 years ago when we first came up with this concept, it was not all the shows out there were kind of shitty. Now there are better ones, and some of them actually have personalities. The guys are actually decent hosts.
Yeah.
But by far, I mean, we have the comedy and the dirty jokes down.
Dirty jokes.
Yeah, easily. All right, so moving on to news. Star Wars Anthology Rogue One to be filmed using 6K large format cameras.
Now,
can you explain that?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it.
I like, just on the basis of those. I mean, media right now like hasn't even gotten like there's one 4K TV out there or some shit. Like, what is that? Like, media itself isn't even in that yet. So, like, what's the point? And it's like
certain things, according to there's things that you can get sharper images on certain types of shots. It's all. Listen, I'm a camera guy. I'm a camera nut.
Yeah,
and
I was reading what you post on Facebook about it.
It's complete and utter horseshit at this point. You have, I mean, you don't need it.
There has to be a limit.
You don't need it unless you're doing a specific shot. This is from StarWarsNews7.com. Star Wars Anthology Rogue film to be filmed using 6K large format. Parts of Star Wars Rogue One and Mission Impossible Rogue Nation were shot with the Arri Alexa 65, a large format 6K resolution model of Arri's popular Alexa camera that is available exclusively through Arri. Okay, thank you. The technology will also be utilized for the forthcoming movies, The Great Wall, yada, yada, yada. As part of the partnership with IMAX, Arri is also co-developing a version of Alexa 65 for IMAX production. So again, there's not much news here. It's just saying that Rogue One, I guess only parts of it will be actually shot. So I'm okay if they're doing, as long as they're not shooting the entire thing, because I think it's just overkill. And it's you know how some people say Tarantino blows himself in his scripts because he writes so much dialogue that he's just blowing himself? To me, 6K, 8K cameras at this time right now is just the cinematographer blowing themselves.
Yeah.
And it scares me for another thing is, are we going to get a Star Wars film tying it back into Star Wars? We want stories. We want epic characters and sagas. We don't care about the technology that's going to make it look even better. We've already seen what happens with that, with episode. Yes, some of the technology is good that we've seen George Lucas create, but the backlash of CGI that the mainstream has right now is in part due to George Lucas's Star Wars trilogy, the newest ones, and many other Marvel blockbuster films. People have that backlash on CGI, and it would be a shame if they come do this movie, the first Star Wars anthology film, and their focus is on, guys, 6K technology. And they're like, listen, let's not focus on 6K. Let's focus on a good effing story and deliver that. Well, that's what the focus should be.
And I want the story and be like, oh, wow, that was shot in 6K. Awesome. That you know, it should be a secondary.
And not only that, Mike, I mean, even between me and you, I mean, like, you can do really great stuff with older technology. Just because it's newer doesn't make it better.
Right.
Yeah, man, let's do Force Lightning as a practical effect.
So stupid. We'll actually summon Thor.
Summon Thor.
Yeah. Okay, so a special look at The Force Awakens on July 10th at San Diego Comic-Con. That'll be good for all those people planning to go to Comic-Con. Are you guys going to Comic-Con this year?
I can't afford it this year.
David, are you?
I might.
Okay, so on July 10th at San Diego Comic-Con 2015, the first The Force Awakens toy pictures have been revealed, and I guess their Star Wars takeover is completely taking over the second day of the Star Wars Comic-Con. So Star Wars fans, if you're listening out there, Friday, July 10th will be the day. If you can only go for one day, that is the day you better get your ass there.
And
July 10th.
I'm ready to take orders from all my friends and family. What Star Wars toy they want me to buy.
Yeah,
I've already talked to you about that offline. So
Lucasfilm announced their official schedule for this year's SDCC. There will be panels covering Hasbro's latest action figures, new novels, and of course The Force Awakens. Now, Star Wars hasn't been present in this capacity in 2 years? The year before they weren't there.
They weren't there.
Star Wars 7. Before that, it was just Star Wars Rebels. It was all about Star Wars Rebels last year. So this is the first big presence that Star Wars will, in fact, have at San Diego Comic-Con, correct?
Yes.
Because they've been saving a lot of their stuff for Star Wars Celebrations.
Yeah, they saved all that for Celebrations.
But they basically made an announcement that this year is going to be way different. Like, we might be getting more news.
The fact, how awesome is that San Diego Comic-Con is allowing them to pretty much just take over on Friday. That's how fucking big Star Wars is, man. That the San Diego Comic-Con, arguably one of the most successful Comic-Cons in our country, outside New York's pretty big, right? New York Comic-Con?
New York's like right below San Diego, I think.
So the fact that the biggest venue is saying, yep, guys, take over Friday. You know, the whole entire, anybody programming anything on Friday, you're effed. Don't program it. Just close your doors down and give up. Just wait. No one's, so I'm excited to see what's happening. But Star Wars, I guess there will be, starting at 11, there'll be Star Wars Publishing, Star Wars all night, man. Star Wars collectible update, Star Wars Force Awakens. And now we also saw the release of a brand new Star Wars toy, which now is this an actual the classic action figure? Because
there's three exclusive toys that they're going to be releasing.
Okay, what's this blocky one that looks like a robot? Please tell me that the Stormtroopers aren't robots.
No,
droids,
that's
because he looks like a droid right there.
Yeah, that's going to be a Lego toy.
Oh, that's a Lego toy.
That's a Lego toy.
That doesn't look very Lego.
That looks pretty sick.
Oh, and now you say Lego. I see the blaster. That does look like a Lego.
Yep, that's an actual really big Lego toy that's coming out. That's actually going to be really cool because they actually did that for R2-D2 last year. They had like a gigantic R2-D2 Lego toy that you can actually buy, and it's done the same way as the Stormtrooper one.
That's exciting, man. I'm looking forward to that for sure. I wish I could go, man. I just am so busy. I would totally have gone.
The one that everyone's going to get is the Black Series. Stormtrooper figure because that's the first Stormtrooper.
Oh, are they still doing the Black Series Stormtroopers and Star Wars characters?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And that one's probably the one that's going to sell out the quickest.
I'm going
to say that right now that it's going to sell out the quickest out of all of them.
Do we have an actual release date on when, in fact, the first bit of Star Wars? We talked about this last week.
September.
The first official line of action figures will be coming out in September.
September.
Yeah.
Okay.
So technically, this is actually kind of like a preview of what's to come.
We all need to pick a day or find the exact day and go at midnight.
Oh, I'm going. I'll be there.
All of us.
I'll be there.
I already know exactly what store I'm going to hit.
Which one?
There's actually a Toys R Us store on...
Do they still exist?
Yes.
Really?
In Ahwatukee, here in Arizona.
David, you're coming to pick me up for that. You know that,
good.
right?
That's the good side of town. I'll go there.
David, you're picking me up for that.
Stupid. Okay, Darth Vader goes to war and teaser for Star Wars Rebels Season 2 premiere. Now, that's something that we all get excited about now, because that's happening, July or June? June 20th. June 20th. Now, this is what I want to talk about. The Star Wars Rebels premieres June 20th. If you guys are able, I believe that's Saturday, I want to do a review immediately after the show. So if you guys can come over,
absolutely.
we'll all watch it together. Hopefully, Dustin, I don't know, will you be back? Will you be in town by then, Dustin, by June 20? Oh, wait, that's in a couple days, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's in 10 days.
I'll have to HoloNet that one.
Okay, so we'll HoloNet that one.
Dustin.
Dustin can HoloNet that one, but I say June 20th, we come here immediately after it premieres. We'll take a few minutes to do our notes, and then we do a live review of the Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah.
You guys want to do that?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, I'm so excited, man. Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine, all going to be in Star Wars Rebels. And I guess rumors are circulating. I didn't have a problem with the first season. I enjoyed the first. I think everybody knows that. I think most people enjoyed the first season.
Yeah.
However, there's a lot of rumors circulating that the second season is going to drop, much like what Clone Wars did after the first season. They say that the second season is going to start dropping some of the kiddie elements.
Yeah, it's going to get darker.
And focus solely on the darker elements, kind of like what Clone Wars did.
Well,
Clone Wars kind of did a little bit of both. They had the darker episodes.
Then they had the kiddie episodes.
And they had the kiddie episodes.
At Celebration when they saw when they showed the kind of teaser.
Yeah,
I want to call it a teaser. That was a full fucking trailer for season 2.
It was awesome.
They show all the different Inquisitors that are going to be around. They gave it a much darker feel, even though you had to kind of like the happy moments, with Rex coming back and Wolf.
And even that wasn't that happy.
Listen, what are we looking forward to in Star Wars Rebels? Number one, I think the internet is on fire right now, and I'm going to agree. Usually, I don't agree with the Star Wars internet that much, but the Star Wars interwebs is a set aflame with Ahsoka right now. Like, people are obsessed that she is back and she's going to be taking on a lead role, because that's something we talked about during last season's Star Wars Rebels edition. Is will Ahsoka kind of join the Rebels team, or will she kind of be a co-star? Like, hey guys, I'm here. She's officially listed as a star of the show.
Yeah.
The show will be about her, Ezra, Kanan, the pilot gal, and the other girl.
Well, it makes sense because Ezra is supposed to be taking steps towards becoming a quote-unquote Jedi. He needs someone that you need a character like Ahsoka.
Who's actually kind of completed.
Who has completed the training. I mean, let's face it, Ezra's cool and all, but when I saw that one fight between Darth Vader, Ezra, and Kanan.
Fantastic.
Kanan and Ezra have no chance.
Oh no!
And I just want to know. I just want to know, how do they escape?
Yeah,
I bet Ahsoka comes in.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. That has to be Ahsoka comes in.
And what if she realizes who Darth Vader really is?
Oh
yeah, or Vader has like a relapse, like
and that has to happen. I mean, and we've said this, like Ahsoka. You recognize, look at Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, their connection, how he immediately sensed Darth Vader was there.
Yeah.
Okay, immediately. And you got to remember, this Death Star is the size of a planet, okay? And the fact that he can sense him somewhere on a planet, that goes to show you that Ahsoka has probably in some way, maybe even a deeper connection with Anakin. She was officially his apprentice.
He was Sky Guy.
Jesus, David. The worst element in Clone Wars was that. She quit saying it, huh?
The worst element was the Hutt.
Yeah, well, Jar Jar, too.
Yeah.
Jar Jar was pretty bad. Okay, so anyways, getting back to a serious note here, you've got to have that connection. Ahsoka's got to be able to draw that conclusion that she senses the conflict. And I would also like to see, I know I don't want to take away from Luke Skywalker being the one to turn him back to good, but I would like to see Darth Vader possibly struggle a bit, just a little bit, with Ahsoka being there. Not something that would, I think if he struggles too much, I think it'll take away from what Luke...
do something where, she gets captured and Palpatine orders him to kill her.
Yeah.
But he kind of, she escapes, like he,
can't do it.
Like where you kind of like, he unlocks him, he's like, get out of here and don't ever come back, or don't ever, if next time I see you, you're dead or whatever.
That'd be cool, man. I definitely think they need to do it. And going back to the darker theme of this season, it makes sense because if you're having Darth Vader and Palpatine in it, you can't have a kiddie episode.
No.
You can't. You just can't.
You just can't.
It would kind of ruin Palpatine and Darth Vader, and I think it would signal the demise of Star Wars Rebels if they did that.
Yeah, but they'll probably do what Clone Wars did, is that you have like a series of story driven, have like a couple lighthearted ones.
Yeah. I'm fine with that too. I mean, I don't need the whole thing to be evil, definitely. I mean, but if they have the darker theme storyline, that'd be great. I mean, like I said, they kind of did that in the first season. Another thing that I think that you're going to be seeing is or that we are seeing, is it's nice to see that Dave Filoni hasn't forgotten his roots of Clone Wars, and he hasn't forgotten his fans, because he knows that the fan base for Clone Wars was huge, and they all were were sad and depressed when Clone Wars was ending, and they blamed Disney and all that. But Dave Filoni promised, and it goes to show you the respect that the Star Wars creators are now having, and that's something that we all love George Lucas, but that's one thing George Lucas didn't really have. And yes, he was blasted by fans. He didn't have that type of respect for the fan base.
No.
He really didn't.
No, he didn't.
And it might have been because after 40 years, or how long, 30 plus years of being railed on by fans, and maybe he was just jaded and kind of burnt out.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, and so justifiably, and I get it, but at the same time, it's kind of nice to have these people now who are they're happy to be doing this, and they're thankful to the fans, because it shows the fact that Dave Filoni is now saying, guys, I didn't forget Clone Wars, and he's bringing back characters from Clone Wars, and he's trying to connect the worlds together more and make it more of a fluid story from Clone Wars and bridge that gap. That's what he said in an interview. He says he's trying to bridge that gap between Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels and show that it's all one interconnected storyline. And I'm like, that's brilliant.
At Celebration, even when they were talking, he even said that, there were so many stories that they wanted to do with Clone Wars that they couldn't, but he's like, now
they could take it
we
into
bring
another direction.
Ahsoka's back, Captain Rex is back, Commander Wolf.
That's another thing. I mean, I'm hoping they explore the whole.
Well, that's what they're saying. Is that
thing,
and he kind of hinted at it, where how like all the clone, there's like the episode where I forgot what the name of the one trooper was, where he found out about the little implant in the clones.
Yeah.
He found out, he told Rex, and so they're kind of like, well, you might find, there's kind of a hint there as to how they survived, maybe something.
Yeah. So we'll see.
He hints at it, and what's nice is that, again, at that panel, you could tell that everybody that's on the production team is a huge Star Wars fan, and especially when they introduce the cast, just hearing like Freddie Prinze Jr. sit there and like have his own fucking nerd moment where he's like,
that was awesome.
Like, I can't believe, he's like, I loved watching Star Wars growing up as a kid. Like, I got a scar, and he's like, if you can zoom in, he has like this scar on his head or whatever when he was like.
Did they zoom in with 6K cameras? So
no, I think they'd only had 3K. They weren't caught up at the time, but they, and they showed his little scar that he got from having lightsaber battles with like wooden sticks that they had to use, and he's just like, oh, this is so exciting! Like, I'm so happy to be here. He's like, did you guys see the trailer for episode 7? Everybody's like, yeah.
I mean, and that's a kind of a positive, I think. It could go south, but so far, I think it's been a huge plus that kind of all the fans that grew up with Star Wars are now working individuals in the business, a lot of them. So you're seeing these fans take on jobs into this dream world that they idolize as kids, and you can kind of see that they're just happy to be there, and they don't want to mess up. So they're very careful what they do. And I think that's a good thing about Force Awakens and what JJ's doing. Is JJ doesn't want to be the man to F it up. That this is his pride and joy because of the fact that he grew up. These are the movies that made him want to be a filmmaker. So I think it's kind of cool that 30 plus years later, these people who grew up watching it, these fans are now working within the Star Wars universe and Star Wars productions. And I think it's actually coming off good because we all know Star Wars fans, we know what we want, right? So it would make sense.
Well, and two, like, I keep checking the Lucasfilm site, the Disney animation site, like, just for anything to get on board with one of the teams in any aspect.
Yeah.
And, I've even looked like, oh man, is there like a janitor position? Like a janitor? I'll fucking be a janitor at Lucasfilm.
Just change your name. Change your name to Greg Javier Ortiz. Yeah. Like, hello, I'm Greg Javier Ortiz. I'm here looking for a visual effects. I mean, a sweeping and mopping job.
I clean for us? I clean for us? Okay.
Ichuta. All right. You know what? On that note, we do need to end today's show. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and listening to Star Wars From the Bacta Tank. If you ever missed any part of the show, you can find us on Stitcher, Smart Radio. Just search Star Wars From the Bacta Tank. And also our website, FromTheBactaTank.com. If you missed part of the show, it will be available in the next, I'd say, 3 to 4 hours on our site, FromTheBactaTank.com. Thank you, everybody. And I expect that we will be back next week. I guess we're going to have 2 shows next week. We'll have next week's Thursday show and then Saturday special. I can't believe it. I didn't realize it's this soon.
I know.
Star Wars Rebels. I'm stoked.
It's around the corner.
So thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
May the Force be with you.
Hello, this is Stormtrooper 1. And if you've missed any portion of the show, you can always head over to FromTheBactaTank.com and listen to the show at your leisure. We're also on Stitcher, Smart Radio, Stitcher.com. Search Bacta and add us to your favorites. Thank you. And listen responsibly. And may the Force be with you. And long live. Thank you for listening to From the Bacta Tank. And From the Bacta Tank is executive produced by Michael Flores and Dustin Lucas. Hosted by Michael Flores, David Zabal. You can find out more about our show by going to www.fromthebactatank.com. You can also find us on Twitter at FromBactaTank, as well as Facebook, facebook.com/FromTheBactaTank.